This week we celebrate Pride Sunday, also known as Open and Affirming Sunday in the United Church of Christ. Pride Sunday dates back to June 28th, 1969, which was the date of the Stonewall Uprising or the Stonewall Riots. It's funny how riots can become uprisings a little later on in history. But that was the date when police came in late at night to the Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village in New York City and acted violently towards the queer patrons. And that group of queer people stood up and resisted, and spontaneous demonstrations for LGBTQ rights broke out all over New York City. And over the last 50 years, those marches and demonstrations have spread across cities and towns, really all across the world. And this year, as we're thinking about Black rights and the way that we need to continue to fight for racial equality, the rights of people of color in this country, we remember how intimately linked and intimately connected those two struggles are. If you don't know the name Marsha Johnson, I encourage you to type that into Google sometime this week. Marsha Johnson was one of the leaders of those original Stonewall uprisings. She was a deeply religious person, raised in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. And as an African-American trans woman, she was one of the pioneers for all of us in seeing how linked, how connected the fight for racial equality is with the fight for equality of queer people. And so we think about Marsha today. We give God praise for leaders like her. And I just want to end with some words from our lectionary text, what Jesus says to his disciples this week, which I think really exemplifies what Marsha stood for. Jesus says, "We are intimately linked in this harvest work. Anyone who accepts what you do accepts me, the one who sent you. Anyone who accepts what I do accepts my Father who sent me. Accepting a messenger of God is as good as being God's messenger." May it be so for us. Amen.